Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we have Nisha with us. She is doing her industrial training from Cipla. So in this video she will tell us all about industrial training at Cipla. So let's just start this video. First of all, welcome to my channel, Nisha. Just give our audience a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, so hi Priya, it's great to meet you. Okay, so I have been associated with Cipla since 5 months now, and I work in business finance domain.
How did you apply for this industrial training role?
Okay, so in my case, it was not a conventional hiring process. It was more of a rapid one. Actually, the manager which was there, he posted a vacancy on LinkedIn. I just sent my resume to him and connected with him on LinkedIn. Then he connected with me for scheduling the interview and stuff.
Is there any drive which Cipla conduct for hiring trainees?
With respect to CA industrial trainees, I think it is on need basis which they hire. Like when I'll be going on study leave, they are currently looking for a candidate. So there is a vacancy in business finance department now, which my manager have already posted on LinkedIn. So it's on need basis.
If someone wants to get in Cipla, they need to keep a good touch with LinkedIn on the people who are working at Cipla so that
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So most of the vacancies are posted on LinkedIn. One can even refer to the career website of Cipla. One can even find the vacancy on ICAI portal, and even many of the Telegram groups are helpful. Even their vacancies are being posted.
Now let's just talk about your interviews. So how many interview rounds were there for you?
Okay, so as I mentioned, I sent my CV on the email ID which was there in the post, and then a week later I got a call from the manager. He explained me the job description and what was required, and then he scheduled an interview which was to take place again 1 week later. So in my case, only one big interview happened. It went on for one and a half hour. After that, I received the offer letter within a week.
Well, like 1 hour is a very long time.
Yeah, long time for the
Yeah.
interview, correct.
What were the questions and how it started?
Okay, so the very first thing, how everything started was, the very first question which is being asked is, tell me about yourself. Now, this is the most important question. Okay, this creates an image of the candidate in the mind of the person who is interviewing. So if you ace this part of the interview, now the rest of the part will go smooth for you. So the first thing was, tell me about yourselves. Then if in case you mention certain hobby or certain course which you have done, or any specialization, so that can create interest in the mind of the person, and they can further question on that in order to make you comfortable. So first 10 minutes go here. Then the next 20 minutes are more crucial, which is technical basically. So here they ask you randomly based on whatever you have put on your resume. So I had mentioned areas such as revenue and receivables, purchasing and payables. I have done statutory audit for this part, for revenue, etc. So I was being asked on, tell me the name of the client, the revenue model of the client, and what is their revenue recognition policy, and what work have you done in the auditing of revenue and receivable.
Okay, so someone has to be very cautious while writing anything on their resume.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The questions can come and we can ask the counter questions if you just pretend that you know everything.
Correct. Yes. So in my case, as I had mentioned revenue, now there is a funny story linked to it. Actually, the name of the client, right? So I was under an image that the name of the client should not be disclosed.
Yeah.
It's very confidential. Okay. And it was a private client. So I didn't mention the client. I said, let's name my client XYZ. And I went on explaining the revenue model and how it works. The manager who was taking my interview, he happened to be ex-PwC. And he had already worked on that client before. And the revenue model was so unique that he got to know the client. And he said me, he took the name of the client. Is this your client? And I said, yes, it is. And from there, a good bonding actually started. And I was more comfortable for the further questions being asked to me. So yes, in case you are mentioning revenue, then fair value recognition, like you should even or leases or any such areas which are directly linked with your index or anything. So you should be revising. You can be questioned on Index 115, Index 106, Index 103 and all. Then he moved on to more of SFM topics like what do I know about derivatives or valuation. and whether I invest my money somewhere. He was more keen on knowing that because I was interviewing for business finance department. So he was even keen on knowing how I manage my funds basically.
Who Cipla hire trainees in any other department, or it is the only one department? If you have any idea about that.
Yes, I will give you a perspective. Cipla hires for taxation, transfer pricing, and for business finance role and FP&A role.
Okay, and all of these are like mostly need basis, right?
Mostly need basis, yes. Also, I will suggest that in my case, what I had done, I had shortlisted certain companies where I wanted to apply. And I started building connections on LinkedIn. Basically, the people who work over there already, and just asking them, just building a rapport with them and asking in case they have any vacancy, whether they can refer you or can forward you the vacancy so you can apply like that.
So now let's just move on to the stipend part and the leaves part. So how much stipend is there, and how many leaves they are allowing?
Okay, so the leaves are as per the industry standards. You can obviously discuss it with your manager and they can adjust. And coming on to the stipend, it is 30,000.
So now let's just talk about the work. You mentioned your department is business finance. So just give us a brief about what all areas do you work on, what kind of day-to-day activities you handle in a brief.
Okay, so in finance, we do have monthly and quarterly closing activities. So like currently, normally I'll say that weekends are off, okay, but in case monthly or quarterly closing fall on weekends, like it is happening in this case, in this month, so you might need to work on weekends or holidays as well, but it's okay, generally weekends are off. So coming on to my work experience part, there are day-to-day activities differs a lot. Such as analyzing business cases, making forecasted P&L, doing analysis of high margin, low margin SKUs, looking after foreign payments, etc. And coming on to monthly and quarterly closing activities, those are generally fixed. Like you need to prepare your sales dashboard, you need to report your primary sales numbers, your LB numbers, and then general PV review, books closing, then analysis around receivables, payables, etc. So those activities are fixed. Making inventory reports and analyzing the risk associated with inventory, etc.
Great. I think these were all the questions around industrial training, and in the last, if you can share some tips for the students.
Always ask for JD and prepare it in advance. Yeah, in my case, when the manager explained me the JD, I knew questions will come from FR. Okay, need not worry about anything. The interviewer, it's just a normal process which can lead to your dream job. So one should be calm, and if they don't want anything, no high expectations as such. Just be honest about your work experience, and that's all.
That's great tips for students as well. And I think we can end this interview here, and a lot of good insights from you. And I think this role actually had a very diverse set of work areas and experience. Thank you so much, Nisha, for sharing all these insights and your valuable experience there.